just a moment. Welcome to the Jam Podcast. Just a moment.
Welcome back to another episode of the Just a Moment podcast, where we pause to reflect on life through the lens of poetry and prose. Now, why poetry? Why prose? It's simple. I'm just using the gifts God gave me. And we use that to talk about the moments that life affords. That's all we get. A moment here and a moment there. In the grand scheme of a lifetime, 1 year, 2 years, it's just a moment. So this really is the Just a Moment podcast. I am Shawn N, host of the Jam Pod. I'm a poet, I'm an author, and I am a speaker. And I count it an honor to come before you each week and share what God has laid on my heart. I don't take it lightly. I don't take it for granted. He could have chosen anyone else, and He chose me. And He's still choosing me today. And so for every moment that I get, for every opportunity, it's a joy to talk about the goodness of God and to share what He has really laid on my heart. I am grateful, and I pray you are grateful too. Don't take things for granted. Embrace life day by day. Count it an honor to wake up. Now, this is actually episode 13 in season 2, and this is the final episode in this season. You know, yes, time really is fleeting, and we can't catch it. We can't catch up with it, and that is the reality. That is the truth. We're already at season 2, and again, I am grateful despite the setbacks, despite the ups and the downs. We kept going on. We kept moving forward. It didn't matter what life threw at us in this season, because we will have obstacles sometimes. We kept moving forward, and we are at the end of episode 2. What a blessing. It is indeed a blessing. I'm excited for what lies ahead and for what God has in store for me. And so this episode is extra special because when I started the podcast, I talked about how it would work. Sometimes I would have guests on, sometimes it would just be me running my mouth, yes, sharing my poetry. And at other times, it would be just me sharing a reflection, sharing a thought, sharing what God has laid on my heart. And so this episode is special. It's not only the final episode, I also have a guest on with me today. And I'm super excited as we talk, share, and chit-chat. You will see, or you will hear, how this meeting came about and how I have this gentleman sitting with me today on the Just a Moment podcast, the Jam Pod. And so I'm extremely excited to welcome, and I hope you just help me welcome this guest, this gentleman, the one and only Nicholas Kayea.
Oh, man. Thank you. And you got my name right.
Yeah, oh my God, you're most welcome. You know something, Nicholas, I am truly honored and grateful that you accepted the invitation to come sit with me for just a moment, to talk about life, to talk about experiences, and specifically for one, your song, Press On. The first time I heard that song, I was so blown away. It spoke to something on the inside of me very deeply. It's as if you wrote that song for me.
Wow.
Yes. And so, welcome again to the Just a Moment podcast. Look here, I'm going to be honest with you. I have my little thing here to talk about. Um, yes, Nicholas. He's very creative, a filmmaker, a musician, an actor, a mentor. And as we get into the dialogue with, or reflections, I should say, with Nicholas, we'll hear more about what he does, not only these. I joked with him before we started, what other hat do you wear? And so he will tell us all about that. We'll get into just life.
Okay.
Life. And right now we're going to give Nicholas a chance to share his song with us. Press On. I hope this song bless your heart the way it blessed mine. And I pray it spoke to something on the inside of you. Deep, reaching deep, let that happen for you as Nicholas plays Press On. And sing too. I won't forget that. He also sings, right? He also sings. So, Nicholas, press on.
All right, let's do it.
Hey again, my name is Nicholas Kayea, and the song that I'll be sharing with you guys is called Press On. I wrote this in a rough time of my life, and it has really stuck with me as time has progressed. So I would highly like to encourage anybody who is going through any trials, tribulations, storms, or tests to press on towards the mark, to not give up, and to know that God is always by your side. Even if it doesn't feel like it, He's there. So I pray that what I share uplifts your spirit in some type of way. And let's get it. I feel broken, I feel washed out, I'm feeling low. God help me, I'm on empty with nowhere to go. I'm constantly in the same old place. It's been a while since I changed the pace. I feel broken, I feel washed out, I'm feeling low. And I'm trying to hold on. And it's been so hard to be strong. Press on. Press on. You might feel downcast, 'cause it's been past your time. You've been patient, and you're waiting, no it's not fine. You're constantly in the same old place. It's been a while since you changed the pace. You feel pressure on every side, and you're trying to hold on. And it's been so hard to be strong. Press on. Press on. In time you realize that you are, you're not alone. And the press is where the promise lays. It's with you every step of the way, not alone. Not alone. In time you realize that you are right where you're supposed to be. You're not alone. Not alone. The press is where the promise lays. It's with you every step of the way. Not alone. Not alone. So press on. Press on. it may endure for a night. Remember that the Lord right by your side. In time you realize that you're not alone. In this life you have your set of tests and trials. There will be a day where you won't find a smile. I know that you might feel alone someday. Trust me when I say that you will find your way. In time you realize you're not alone. Press on. Amen.
Man, Nicholas, I'm a Jamaican. You might hear me say man sometimes, but don't pay me any mind.
Good.
I tell you, that song has, like I mentioned before, sparked something on the inside of me. Uh, Press on. What led you to write Press on?
Well, I remember it was in 2019, and I had just got married, right?
Okay.
And I had my first big boy job, working at a school. I was the PE teacher.
Okay.
And things happened, and I wanted to go in a different direction. And I wasn't able to stay at the school. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to, but I wanted to do what I went to school for, was film and video production. But that didn't end up happening. And so I found myself at the top of June, just got married, no job,
Mm.
right? Um, and then also being somebody who has dreams and wishes and goals, truly believing in God, walking the fine line, um, and uh, talented. You know, God has gifted me to write songs. He's gifted me to act, to write stage plays. So like there, it's hard to answer that question without like kind of going back. But to make a long story short, a lot had happened in my life
Mm-hmm.
before 2019, right?
Okay.
So I was born in 1995.
Okay.
I learned a lot of different things, but I'm somebody that I truly believe that God has placed the gifting and talents for me to share to the world
Mm-hmm.
and to be globally known,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this is not in a place of being vain or conceited, but just knowing in the depths of my heart that God has called me to do some big and great things. And so, from going through life and having people let me down, this person say, I'm going to help you, this happening, that happening, and then feeling like you have nowhere to go, um, press on just came into my spirit. And so, like the opening words, I feel broken, I
Mm-hmm.
feel washed out, I feel low.
Mm-hmm.
God help me. I'm on empty with nowhere to go. I'm constantly in the same old place. It's been a while since I changed the pace.
Mm.
I feel broken. I feel washed out. I feel low. Right? That's how I'm feeling.
And Nicholas, as I'm sitting here listening to you repeat the words of the song, I can only think about my life and my ups and downs, the times when I failed, but I had to keep on going. I talked about in the first episode of the podcast when I publish my second book, the publisher went out of business.
Mm.
And it wasn't $100, it was thousands of dollars. And what do I do? And so the book was called Be Inspired.
Mm.
And after that, it's like, I can't give up on my dreams. I have to get this poetry out of me. And I went back and republished it. Be Inspired Again.
Mm.
That again was saying I had to get up.
Yeah.
I had to keep on going. I had to press on. And which reminds me of David. The Bible says David encouraged himself in the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we have to do sometimes to press on. You talked a little bit about your years before you got to writing press on.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about your growing up.
Okay.
Yeah, where you were born here or
Gotcha.
yeah. Tell a little bit about your life.
I was born in Georgia at Grady Hospital.
A Grady baby. Okay.
Grady baby. My parents are Liberian.
Okay.
Right. So
Yes.
I am West African, but I was born here.
Mhm.
Right. So I am American African American.
Oh.
I was born here. I grew up in Gwinnett County.
Okay.
Right. Great school district. I had a great education. Great teachers. At the age of 6, I started to play the guitar.
Mm.
It's funny, I remember the day that I got inspired to play the guitar. There was this one man that had played at our church, and he was staying at our house because my family is notorious for when people come in town, they hosting people, right? And so I remember seeing him walking and holding the guitar in his left hand, and he was walking around the corner, and I said, I want to do that.
Oh my God.
So I started playing the guitar, and as time progressed, I started playing in church, right? My mom had me playing in church, and that's where my ability to kind of freestyle and improvise came in. In middle school, I did band, right? So I was one of those band geeks playing trumpet. And so that did a great job. That did a great job for me. But everything changed personally. I feel like when I went to Shiloh High School, so I transferred schools, and my chorus teacher, Mr. Craig Johnson, was amazing. God sent.
I know Craig Johnson.
You don't know Craig Johnson.
Yes, I do. I know Craig Johnson.
It's Craig Johnson. Tell me.
Johnson. Oh my God. I used to go to Stronghold Christian Church.
Come on, girl, get out of here.
Yes.
Oh, snap.
Yes. And I used to sing in the choir.
Yeah.
And Craig used to be the choir
There you go.
director.
There you go.
It's a small world.
Small world. So that was my teacher.
He was a
Right.
very good,
Best teacher in the world.
the best.
I wouldn't have been able to write press on without Mr. Johnson.
Wow.
Amazing. So even in high school, that is where so
Mm.
like I got into Shiloh with a musical background, but he was able to take my gift and throw the creativity in there,
Yes.
show arrangements, show different things. Because Mr. Johnson didn't do anything regular. Everything he did was unique,
Yes.
right? So I think it's really funny that you knew Craig Johnson.
It's a small world. Hey.
Small world. So I'm just gonna ask you this question. I don't know, but so we did a recording, a live recording in like 2011 or 2012. Were you there at that time? Do you know?
11. I was there. Was it during the pandemic?
No. Pandemic was 2020.
2020. Oh, Jesus, have mercy. Okay. No, yes, I was there
Okay.
because my daughter was born Grady baby too here. 2010,
Okay.
and she got christened there around 2011.
Okay.
So I was a member at church. So yes,
Okay.
I want to say I was there, and I think I can remember that recording.
We did a live recording.
Yes.
My wife Jordan was there as well. So I actually met my wife in high school.
Oh, really?
Friends, strictly friends until, um, I started having a crush on her. No, she had a crush.
That's all right. And now she's Mrs. Kayea. How about that?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But just to explain a little bit more, so after high school, I went to University of West Georgia. At first, I was undecided. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to like a performing arts school, but that's not a guarantee, being a creative. And so I did education, and then when I rededicated my life to Christ, God told me change your major to mass communications. And that's when I got into the film and video production world because I didn't have any acting, and so I started learning how to do all the stuff behind the camera, all those different things.
Okay.
So once all that stuff had happened, I've written a couple of musicals, performed them at church, and at the school at University of West Georgia, and I've seen a lot of um, the same way how you said you heard my song and it blessed my heart,
Mm-hmm.
people gave their lives to Christ on the
Mm-hmm.
musicals and things that I was doing. And so being an individual who you actually seen God work through your art, and
Mm-hmm.
then you're coming to a place that's like, keep on pumping my head over and over and over. What's going on? That's how Press On came about.
God's timing is perfect. And I'm going to jump back a little bit because you said something about at the age of 6, you said you wanted to play, or you started playing the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
It was also at the age of 6 for me
Mm-hmm.
that my second grade teacher taught us one poem, Someone by Walter Delamere.
Mm.
That poem changed my life.
Wow.
Didn't know it at the time, but I knew I had the gift to recite poetry.
Mm.
And at the age of 19, I wrote my first poem. But I was also happy to hear you say God told you to do something and you did it.
Yeah.
He said change your major. And it's important, it's so pivotal that we learn to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, too, I was upstairs today while I was thinking about the podcast, and I'm saying it's not that God is not talking, it's that we are not listening.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when we hear, we don't obey.
Mm-hmm.
So, with you coming now and saying God spoke to you and you moved in obedience, but guess what? You're still facing roadblocks,
Mm-hmm.
you're still facing obstacles,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then press on came about. You had to encourage yourself. I also thought about the time when I had to write this poem called Running in the Shadow of the Almighty.
Mm.
You have to press on. I will not quit, for I must win this race called life
Mm.
that I participate in.
Mm-hmm.
What if God does not remove the obstacles and you have to keep going?
Mm.
What do? Do you give up on God? Do you still walk in obedience?
Mm.
What do you do?
You have choices.
You have choices.
The question is, do I truly want what I'm telling God that I want, or the vision that He shows? Do I truly want that, or do I truly want to do His will, no matter what that is?
No matter what.
Right. And so the thought process is, Lord, in the times when I'm weak, make me strong enough to be able to press on, to be able to climb the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
When I hurt myself and all these different things, let me have the faith enough to nurse myself back together, or allow somebody to come and nurse me back together and keep on going. The problem is people give up too easily, or they give up
Yep.
too quickly,
Yep.
right? So I don't want to know the word I'm looking for. I don't want to lessen anybody's experience or
Right.
belittle anybody's experience, because we all go through different things. We all go through our
Right.
tests and trials. But the people that have the story to tell are the ones that kept on going,
Kept on going.
and that's a choice.
Yes, that's a choice. Another line in the song, if I may quote it right now, you says that the press is where the promise is where the press is where the promise lays.
Mm-hmm. So I gotta give credit to my wife on that one, because she helped me on the bridge.
Okay.
Jordan helped me on the bridge on that part. But yes, and the press is where the promise lays. He's with you every step of the way. You're not alone, right? And so a lot of times we feel as if we're alone,
Right.
but the truth is we're not. When you look back in the times
Mm-hmm.
where you was going through life, you can see where God was with you and how He helped you. But sometimes it's the fact of, I want to see what you can do by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if you can walk from here to there, and if you see something in the way, can you navigate and go around? I
Mm-hmm.
want to see what it is that you can do, because I can't put words in God's mouth, but I'm pretty sure He doesn't want to baby us,
Right.
right? He wants
Right.
for us to become mature believers, mature
Right.
Christians. So do more
Right.
things without Him having to tell
Yeah.
us to, you know, all right, get up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Sometimes He wants
Yeah.
to see what we're made out of, especially if we
Indeed.
want to be leaders, especially if we want to be people that have some type of influence,
Mm-hmm.
right? We have to
Right.
inspire others. We have
Right.
to be able to be mature enough to, when we see people who were in the same place that we were in, that we're
Right.
able to guide them through that process.
Right. Make an impact.
Yes.
Make an impact. Inspire someone. Motivate someone to move. And the essence of this podcast is moments.
Mhm.
Are you willing to walk in your moments?
Mm.
The good ones, the bad ones, the ones that are not pleasant at all,
Yeah.
the ones that break you, the ones that make you cry when no one is watching.
Mhm.
Um, that line in that song again, the press is where, in the song, press on, the press is where the promise lays.
Mhm.
I remember I was going through some stuff. And as I talk, you see why the song just hit me so hard. And I was at home and I heard the voice of the Lord say to me, it says, like olives, if
Mm.
you're not pressed, your oil won't flow.
Mm. Yep.
And so when I heard you sing that line in that song, I almost jumped out of my seat.
Wow.
Because again, the song was just talking to me. It's as if God was, because even now, we go through stuff. They can tell you, I stay busy. I have a lot going on.
Mhm.
You know, a lot you have to deal with at times. And there are times when I want to throw in the towel. There's times when I ask, oh my God, why did I start the podcast? It's like, and then God was like, what are you talking about? What are you
Mhm.
doing?
Mhm.
You know? And that song, Press On, was a reminder to keep on going.
Mm.
Don't give up. Don't quit. Embrace the moments. And you're right. He's right there with us. God is right there with us, walking us through every season,
Mhm.
every moment. Oh my God, every situation. I had planned to share how we actually met, talked about how we met, and then how you're here with us today. So I was talking to Lena, who did the first episode on the podcast. And you know, we connect all the while, we chit chat and so forth. And then she sent me this this YouTube link, and she said, listen to this song. And so I listened, and I said, oh my God. When I was finished, I texted her immediately. I said, because once I was finished listening to the song and I'm sitting there, I heard the voice of the Lord say, invite him on the podcast, to the
Wow.
podcast. I had not had a guest on all season
Mm.
because, like I've told Java, I said, I want to be moved by the Spirit. And I said, Java, I'm just not feeling a guest on. And he says, oh, maybe I've gotten comfortable doing it by yourself.
Mm.
I said, I'm not feeling a guest on. And when I sat and I listened to your song, and the Father said, invite him on the podcast.
Mm.
I said, what? I said, invite him on the podcast. And I texted Lena, and I said, I would love to have Nicholas on the podcast, and I would love for him to sing this song. So that's my thing again. I want to thank you for accepting the invitation.
No problem. Thanks for
One,
inviting me.
that was all God.
Yeah.
That was all God. That was all God. And so, you know, I appreciate it. But I almost called you Nick a while ago.
Mm.
Because when I got the information, the name I was given was Nick. So I'm going to transition into this part.
Okay.
And as we talked and shared, uh, you mentioned about transitioning
Mhm.
to using Nicholas.
Yeah. You want to talk about that now?
Yes.
All right.
Let's talk about walking.
Okay. So the thing about that was, my name is Nicholas,
Mhm.
right? My family members call me Nicholas, but when I was in school, probably around the age of 8, I was like, I don't want you guys to call me Nicholas anymore. I want to be called Nick.
Why?
Because I wanted to be cool. I thought Nicholas was lame. People used to make fun of me. Nicholas. You know what I mean?
Oh, my
So
word.
Nick sounded cool, and I grew up as an only child,
Oh.
strict household. So I felt like I didn't get along with a lot of my peers at school.
Mm.
I didn't fit in. And then, like I told you, I'm African as well, right? So that's
But we'll talk about that a
yeah.
little later too.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so we'll talk about later. That's another layer of separation.
Right.
And so I went by Nick for a very, very, very long time. But my wife said something, funny, probably about a year or two ago. When people ask me what's my name, usually I'll say, Nick, instead of just saying Nick, right? But now when people ask me what's my name, Nicholas.
Okay.
It's like I used to say, Nick. because my name isn't Nick.
Isn't Nick right?
It's Nicholas, right?
Right.
But Nicholas also means victory of the people, right? And so I was going through my life not being called victory of the people. And I'm wondering
Mm.
why I'm losing. I'm wondering why this ain't happening, this ain't happening, this and the third. And so we went to a prophetic service, maybe in the month of June, I believe. Yeah, in the month of June. And, you know, we were getting, prophecies and we were sharing. And then the lady said out of nowhere, she said, "Is your name Nick or is it Nicholas?" And I said, "Nicholas." She said, "God said people know Nick, but they don't know Nicholas. So they need to know Nicholas." And so I've been making that adjustment. And as I've been making that adjustment, literally everybody, they're just switching. They're just calling me Nicholas. I asked and everybody is doing it. It's not like a hard thing. Um, and when they call it to me, I hear a jump or a leap in my spirit every single time. Because usually when I would hear people call me Nicholas, I'll be like, "Hey, you don't know me." You know what I mean?
Right,
Nobody
right,
call me that. But
right.
the fact of the matter is, I'm Nicholas Taylor White Kaye.
You
That's
know,
who I am.
yeah, and if you think about what's in a name,
Victory of the people.
yeah, and the name that's assigned to you.
Yeah,
If I think about, Emmanuel
yeah,
meaning God with us,
yeah.
and God, Jesus embodies that
Mhm,
because He's with us. So with you using Nick, you weren't embodying who you are,
mhm.
right? So now this prophetess has to come and say, you're not walking
Yeah.
in who you are. Like my name, Shawn. God is gracious.
Mm,
God is gracious. And I've looked over my life and I can see how gracious God has been to me,
yeah.
even when I didn't deserve it. Even I faltered, I sinned because all have sinned,
Yeah.
but God still kept me. He still blessed me. He provided for me all the way.
Yeah.
So for those who are out there who doesn't want to use your given name
God
because
given me. Right?
God given name, right? Because you may be embarrassed, you may be, I don't know, ashamed, or like Nicholas said, he wanted to be cool. He wanted to be the cool kid on the block. Walking, no, and no,
No, you
some,
good, because I
no.
wasn't cool. That's the thing. I was the farthest thing from cool.
Oh, really? But I get it. Teenage years or young years. I get it. It's a part of it. But walk in your God given name. Okay, embody who you are, right? We talked about also. You just mentioned being African heritage,
Hmm.
Liberia.
Hmm.
Is Liberia?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Um, Liberia. And what was it like growing up in an African household? And
Hmm.
then, so it's like you're living two lives because when you're at home, you're embodying this African heritage. But when you go out in the world, even though you're born here, because your parents were born in Liberia?
Yeah, my parents were born in Liberia.
Okay.
Yep.
So when they came back here, they took all the Liberian heritage with them. They didn't leave it back there.
Yes and no.
Okay, yes and no. Okay.
So my parents are African, Liberian. Um, there are certain ways and culture things that we have, but we also wasn't like, in my opinion, super African or super Liberian. My mom came to America because of the war. There was a civil war that happened in Liberia,
Hmm.
so she came back and forth. So the first time she came, she was probably like 10 or 11, and then she left, and then she came back. So she had been in America for some time. Um, but I went to African church.
Oh,
Um, we ate African food at the house, but then there was also some American stuff that we did. But the big difference for me was just the fact that I didn't watch what everybody else watched, when it came to like
okay.
content and stuff like that. So I was on Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and Animal Planet. And when it was time for football season, I was watching football, NBA and sports, but I couldn't watch BET, couldn't watch MTV, VH1, any of those things.
And that's because of
Um,
your parents. They
that's
didn't
because of
want.
my parents, right?
No,
Because
okay.
they wanted me to watch the right content, which in
Right,
hindsight, that's good, because
right,
what you're exposed to is important. But
right,
there's a lot of American culture things that I just did not know, right?
right.
Until I got to high school, and so hanging out with different friends or, doing things in choir and learning some
Mm-hmm.
gospel songs and different things like that. So even like when it comes to on the faith side, like we did African songs and we did
Mm-hmm.
CCM, So
Yes.
I wasn't listening to
What's
oh,
CCM?
is it CCM? Did I say that right? Yeah, CCM. That's the white people music
Oh,
with the worship stuff. Um, it's the white people music. Bethel. Uh,
oh, okay. And you know something? I like white people music, though, because Gaither Homecoming Band. You
I have
do.
no idea who that
Oh my God. Okay. Whew.
But though that type of stuff.
I get it.
Chris Tomlin,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
yes,
those are
yes.
the things that we were doing. Nothing, no Hezekiah Walker, Marvin Sapp,
Gotcha. Okay.
choir things. I got introduced to that when I went to Shiloh High School.
Mm.
So like the experience at Stronghold, I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't having that experience. So it was just different. Um,
Oh my
so
word.
that was the main thing when it came to culture wise. But like my parents didn't make me do um certain things when it came that other African people probably had to do. We didn't necessarily have to do it,
Okay.
but we did respect the culture.
Okay, that's good because I, I just thought about my dad who passed away in December,
Mm.
and I was saying to my nephew, so if my dad were here and he met you, oh, he would have a field day. We'd have a ball. He's like the historian that nobody knows, and he would go right into tell you about Liberia because that's where the first when slavery was abolished.
Yeah.
Yes, the freed slaves from here went back there to
Yeah.
establish that or develop that area, and so yeah. So maybe that's why there wasn't so much of a I don't want to say harsh what's the word I'm looking for that I can't find. Oh my God. Um, where you didn't have to do so you didn't have a lot of like African stuff that you needed to do or you did because there was a some American embedded in the culture already.
I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
So maybe that's why if you were into another area of Africa and they were to come here, their activities, their day-to-day task, whatever, would be different from someone who moved from here to there and is now coming back.
Possibly.
Possibly. And I grew up in Jamaica too. I came here when I was 28 years old. I'm telling my age. How about that? Fine.
You just said 20. You didn't tell us the year. You just said 2000, and then you stopped.
No, I said I came here when I was 28 years old in
Yeah, but you
2000.
didn't say the year.
Oh, I
I'm
don't.
trying to help you out because you went.
No, trust me. That's something again. Embracing the moment.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I'm not another thing. Culture, because for in Jamaica, we have never been. Maybe now because I left here 25 years ago. Don't say our ages, but that's not the case. In Jamaica, you say your age, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not afraid to actually say my age, right?
All right, tell everybody then.
53. Am I 53? I'm 53. Yeah, I'm 54. Come, I have to ask. Yes, 1972. Born 1972.
Gotta do math.
No,
Do some math. Do some math.
53 years old. Yeah, it's gonna do some math. Hey, that's how you keep your brain active, right?
Yeah.
Keep your mind going. 53 years old and just walking in. The moment some people start late, I was listening to Priscilla Shire, and she said something that just was so profound. She said, we don't have time. We don't know what time we have.
Yeah.
And she said, you may look at someone who is 20 years old and say, oh, they're young, they have time. But if that person is going to die at 30, that person is very old.
Yeah.
I said, wow. And she said, you may look at somebody who's 50, but if that person lives until they're 50, 100 years old, that person is very young.
Yeah.
So, again, we have to embrace the days, embrace the moments that God sends our way.
Mm-hmm.
We're grateful. So we're going to keep on going, Nicholas. Again, I'm so grateful, man, that you showed up in this space to just chit chat with me for just a moment.
Cool.
Tell us about some of the things you're currently involved in, things that you're doing. When I introduced you, I talked about you being a filmmaker, a musician, and you're acting. You are a mentor. Who do you mentor? And this says you're a believer. And I said you're a husband. You're a priest. Your beautiful wife Jordan, who is here with us today. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for the support, Jordan. We appreciate it. So tell us about what you're involved in, what you're doing,
Okay.
your ministry, your
Okay.
mission.
Okay. Great. So I wear a lot of hats,
Okay.
but all these hats is for one and two goals, right?
Okay.
And I'm not kidding. Number one is to give God the glory. I'm
Amen.
so serious. You know, people say that, but I'm so serious. That's the main goal.
Hmm.
Is for God to get the glory through my life, through the art that I do,
Hmm.
through any type of interaction that people have with me. My goal is for them to leave in a better or positive light. That is my goal, right?
Yes.
And so some of the different talents that I have, like so I own a company called Kayea Creative,
Mhm.
right? So my last name's Kayea, creative with the K.
Okay.
Jordan helped me with that, so she added the K on there. So Kayea Creative.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So Kayea Creative is a media company that works in the spaces of media, right?
Okay.
So I have film and video production,
Hmm.
right? So like I told you, I went to college and I learned film and video. So when it comes to like making movies,
Hmm.
right? That's on the goal. That's what we do. But that's the big goal is to have a platform to where we're making movies in all types of genres,
Okay.
from sports to faith to superhero to comedy. I'm not gonna do horror because there's no reason to do that. Maybe some type of thriller, but the thriller would be some type of faith based. I have some different ideas to try to talk about the different spiritual aspects of things that people may be unaware of or people that may not be keen to, right?
Right.
So we have that, but also in the animated space as well.
Mhm.
And then we have just video production. So we do events, right? We do weddings,
Okay.
birthdays, conferences, anything that needs to be recorded, and we can record, get it to you nice, neat, professional, in a creative way.
How long have
Right.
you have? When was your company
Kahi
established?
Creative was established in 2021.
2021. Okay, so for 4 years now you've been
For four
doing
years.
that. Good.
And then also, well, let's keep on going. So we have that um, in the music space,
Hmm.
right? Making music, making content, um, original music, covers, arrangements. I have the ability to help people that if they have songs and ideas to help bring those songs to life,
Mm.
to produce the records or the instruments or the tracks, to giving them backgrounds if they need backgrounds, to saying, hey, if somebody says, hey, Nick, I have this song idea, this is what I have,
Hmm.
I can take that idea and make it into a full on record to
Okay.
where it's nice, beautiful, and amazing,
Okay.
right? So there's that. And then there's also the acting side as well, right? So I'm an actor assigned and represented by Houghton Talent Agency.
Okay.
And so I've been on Jesus Revolution, right? That was one of my bookings. And then also Atlanta season 4, episode 10. Check it out.
Oh,
I got in there. It was pretty cool. So the acting side as well. Um, there's so many hats. I'm trying to make sure that I cover everything.
and I must mention to you're a podcaster as well.
Yes, yes.
So you
So
talk about your podcast
yeah.
a little
So
bit.
yeah. So before I get there,
Okay.
so we have that, and then we also have the Creative Village, right?
Okay.
And the Creative Village is something that I created in 2023 or 2022.
Mm.
2023. The Creative Village was officially established in 2023, and what that is a space for creatives of all sorts and
Mm.
ages to do what they do, work on the craft from the level of, hey, I do music or I'm interested in music. Can you show me how to play an instrument?
Mm.
Right? Teaching them the basics of music, teaching them the complexities of music to the place to where once you're done with me, you should be able to write your own song. You should be able to
Mhm.
produce your own records, right? And so I'm working with students from the age of 5, and I had a student all the way to the age of 88.
See.
But
Okay.
Bobby's getting old, so we're taking a break. But even with that, we have everything that I do with music, film,
Mm.
acting. We provide that space for them. And so my children, we just performed at the Atlanta Hawks basketball game um, in the month of March. That was our second time.
Mhm.
We just dropped a new record called Love Culture, right? And Love Culture is cool. It's cool. It's cool. So
Gotta check it out.
let me tell you this real quick. So Love Culture. This is how what I mean by putting God in my music, right? So the word says, I am the way and the truth and the life. Trust in me and your soul, and you shall never die. He who believes in me fights for me. Peace in your heart, yeah, I'm sure you will find. Love is the way and the truth and the life. Trust in it and your soul, and you shall never
Mm.
die. He who believes in it fights for it. Peace in your heart, yeah, I'm sure you will find.
Mm.
And of course, we know what? That God is love, right?
Yes.
And so the reason why I did that was one, God gave me the song, but two, I wanted to drop those seeds in there so whenever my students or somebody listening sees the word, I am the way, the truth, and the life, know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And I had a student that did that. I had one of my favorite
Yes.
students. Her name is Sloan. Sloan is about, oh, she's about to turn 10. Yeah, she's about to turn 10 in the month of October. Anyways, so she has one of those action Bibles. And in the action Bible, there's a part where Jesus actually says, I am the way, the truth, and
Yes.
the life. She
Yes.
came to me at the end of class one day. She says, I know where you got love culture from. Jesus said, I'm the way, and the truth, and the
Oh
life.
my
And I was like,
God.
yes, come on.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And so it's those small and little ways where you can put
Right.
Christ in content, and it's not blaringly say, hey, this is Jesus. But when somebody listens to the content, when they're done, they feel uplifted. They feel inspired. Weeping may endure for a night,
Yes.
but joy comes in the morning.
Yes.
It's those little things. But then there's also songs
Yes.
that I have to where it's strictly praise and worship.
Yes.
It's strictly Jesus.
Yes.
But the goal for me is to be able to meet all different levels of people in their walk. There's people that's not going to church,
Right.
hear nothing about God,
Right.
but they'll play music or they'll go to the movies. So
Yes.
how can we feed them the fruits of the spirit? How
Yes.
can we feed them these things and content? And
Yes.
so that's what Kaya Creative is about. That's what Creative Village is about, right? And so you talking about the podcast, Respect My Genius.
Mhm.
God laid it on my heart to start Respect My Genius a year ago, but I was like, I can't do a podcast. Who's gonna want to listen to
Listen.
me? All these different
Right.
doubts that I had in my mind and in my head,
Right.
but I launched Respect My Genius in the month of like March or so. And it's been beautiful. It's been amazing. I've been able to meet a lot of people through it. But also, what it's been doing is allowing me to practice speaking, allowing
Mhm.
me to share my gift, but then also show the genius in the things that I do,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And so it's been an amazing podcast. And I'm really grateful for it. So if you guys are interested, you should definitely check out Respect My Genius. On Instagram, it's respect.mygenius, or you can follow me at Kaya Creative, KayeaKreative.
Wonderful, wonderful. Make sure you check out Nicholas's podcast. It's on. You're also on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Right. And I guess your
Respect
podcast
My
is
Genius.
available
Yes.
wherever podcasts are available.
All streaming platforms as well.
All streaming platforms. Beautiful. That again shows how we have to just embody. You know, one of my favorite. Let me say this. One of my favorite parables in the Bible, and I think it's in Matthew chapter 25.
I know what you're talking about, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Parable of the talent.
I told you I knew.
Oh my
Yeah.
word,
Yeah.
man! When I tell you that person who got that one and did nothing with it, wicked, depart from me.
Mm-hmm.
How can you not? How can you not build on what God has given? He says, why didn't you just put it in the bank?
Mm-hmm.
Give it to somebody else. Teach somebody so it can earn interest.
Mm-hmm.
So that somebody else can be saved from even someone else saying it.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else's life can be transformed.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite parable. And so, I do a lot myself. I write poetry, I speak every opportunity I get, and I love to talk about God. I love to share Him with the world.
Mm-hmm.
Every opportunity I get, I don't back down. When I started the podcast, God reminded me, He said, message over money. And sometimes we don't want to go ahead because we think about, like you said, who's gonna watch it? Who cares? I'm doing my part, you're doing your part. If God say go start a podcast, He knows why.
Mm-hmm.
Because He may just need you to reach that one person.
Mm-hmm.
Just one. And if you have gotten to that one person, you have done your job.
Yep.
You have done your job. And that's for someone else too. What is it that has told you to do? Has given you the gifts to do. Walk in your gifting. Whether you fall down, get back up or not, get up and keep going. I also write lyrics.
Okay.
I also had my book, Be Inspired Again. I had it done in a screenplay.
Oh, really?
Yes, and then the company, when they were supposed to market it, they went out of business too.
Mm.
So again, it's just setbacks after setbacks, failure after failure, but I haven't stopped. And I always say, one day I'm gonna record. God say, if I give you a song, I'm gonna let you sing it. And so I'm glad to hear that you're doing so much. And as I think about it, something I can, do business with you as well. And I think about you coming to you to record some of my songs, right? Um, can I sing? We'll see. How about that?
But can I say something real quick?
Sure.
So the talents is one of my favorite parables as well because it convicts me so much, right? Because I act like I'm the guy with five talents. That's what I act like. That's what I believe in my mind. But truthfully, for a while, I've been the guy with one, right?
Oh yeah.
Because God will
Oh
give
yeah.
me this talent. I will look at this talent. I will keep this talent to myself. I'll work on it, work on it, work on it. But when it's time to share,
Mhm.
I don't share,
Don't share.
right? And so even going back to Press On, I wrote that 6 years ago, right? But I'm just about to release this song now,
Officially. Wow.
right? So I feel like that talent has just been stuck in my pocket.
Mhm.
But God's been working on me with it, and is multiplying.
And I understand that too because I was in that same place.
Hmm.
I would say, who wants to hear me? Not even with the podcast, even before, who would listen to me?
Yeah.
But again, sometimes God sends people to pull out of you what you have inside of you. And I say that because during COVID, my daughter's second grade teacher, we stayed in touch even though she's in a different school and so forth. And she's also a Jamaican. She's an Adventist, and they have Vespers, as they call it, the services,
On Saturday.
Friday night,
Oh.
Friday night services, right? And she knew that I did poetry. She knew that I had a book at the time, and she said, "Come on, I want you to come on and say a poem for me." What? No. That being said, I would only share it, like I wouldn't seek out ways to share it
Yeah.
per se. I would just maybe wait for somebody. So if no one said anything, nothing happened.
Yeah.
And she said, "Come on and say a poem for me." And that's where all of this evolved.
Wow.
Peaches McKeedy, if you are listening, I owe you. I owe you and your hubby John. I tell you, I owe you. It was because of you. God used you, and that's why I'm here today. During COVID,
Hmm.
she said, "Come on." And from that, I've been speaking at devotions. I used to love to pray before, but I pray now. I'm leading devotions.
Hmm.
And people ask me, "Can you share a devotional thought?" And I do that. Walking in the gift,
Hmm.
embracing the moments that life affords. Embracing. Go
So
ahead.
that like you said, embracing the moments. The reason why that's important is there was a moment where your friend said, "I like what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask." And then you had a chance to either say yes or
Mm-hmm.
no.
Or
And
no.
what you did, you embraced the moment. And
Mm-hmm.
that one moment has changed your life forever,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so the question is, what thoughts or what moments are you having in your life to where it could change everything, but there's doubt in your head, or there's I don't have enough money, or I don't
Mm-hmm.
have this, or I don't have that. The thing is, all we need is a mustard seed of faith, and with a mustard seed of faith, we can move mountains, right? So I would love to highly encourage you guys that no matter what it is that you're going
Mm-hmm.
through, to make sure to take advantage of your moments, because when you take advantage of your moments, now God has something to work with.
Something to work with.
Hmm.
And another thing to the community. If you see something in someone that one they may not even recognize or want to use, say something. That's what my friend did. She invited me to come and
Hmm.
say a poem,
Hmm.
right? And that was the opportunity that I needed.
Yeah.
So say something, man. I see you have a gift. Use those around you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm grateful, truly grateful for that she was able to speak life into me.
Hmm.
And we know you're a man of faith. When you write, what comes out first? The lyrics, the melody, or the message?
That's a great question. All of the above, right? So it's different with each song.
Okay.
Sometimes it may just be a phrase,
Right.
it may be a thought or idea. So sometimes when I write, I have a story that's in mind, and I have an idea here and I know how I want to end it, but I have to be able to connect it, right? But I would say usually I will get a melody. And some words will come there. And then for me, because I was a musician 1st, right? Even though I used to sing all the time, but because I was a guitar player and a trumpet player, and then even with the piano, I know musically how things are supposed to sound. I know that, some people they write words and then they try to fit the words to the music, but sometimes it's hard to fit your words or your thought process to a song or to a melody because it's like, I want to say this, but this has 4 syllables, but I only have space for 2 syllables in this song or in this phrase. And so for me, I usually do melody first, and then words start to come together, and I know what I want to say. I just have to figure out how can I say it so musically it can make sense.
Wow.
So
Wow.
hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. And as you're, and I didn't even think about it. Maybe because I'm not schooled. Let me say that I don't have a music background or music education. That's what you're talking about being schooled in music. But I think again, going back to the gifts, using one of God multiplying, and I think that's what happened in my case because I write lyrics, but when I write it, I get both the lyrics and the melody at the same time.
Okay.
At the same time. So when you're sitting here saying sometimes you get the lyrics and then you get the melody, it's like whoa, but I get both. So when I'm singing it, I'm and I have to like run go grab my phone so I can record it so I don't forget it. That's what I do in the car. Sitting at my desk at work. It's like oh my God, give it this. So I get both at the same time. But again, then it's the willingness to just use it, put it all together, and using it for the glory of God.
Yeah.
Um,
Can I say something real?
yes,
That goes back in the moments, right?
right.
Songs usually come in
Oh
moments,
yes,
and if you don't take advantage of that moment, you will lose the song.
you lose it.
And then 10 years later, somebody else will be singing your song that you should have put out,
Oh my
right?
God. You're speaking to me now. Are you? Oh my God.
Taking advantage of moments.
I think I have to take my own lesson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have written, no, I'm serious, a whole bunch of lyrics. Because they say a songwriter is someone who has a song published, right? So I am a lyricist. I have a whole lot. Again, another reason why I thought God allowed us to meet. Because I've been sitting down with all these songs and I'm saying, God, what am I, our lyrics, what am I supposed to do with them? And hear you talking of the things you do and what you're involved in. Here I see an opportunity where I can maybe collaborate with you, right? Because again, all these lyrics sitting down, I don't want to miss my moments. I want to walk in my own message, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
It goes back to the creative village. See, the thing about the creative village is that throughout time, God has creatives throughout
yeah,
time. And
yeah.
so just because you said you're 53, just because you're 53 years old doesn't mean that you don't have songs from the Lord. Doesn't mean that you don't have a bunch of ideas that still need to come out, right? Just because somebody is 6 doesn't mean that they're not getting songs from the Lord. You see
Right,
what I'm saying? And so this is what the creative village is about. So
right. Age is just a number. God can use you at any level, at any point. And as I tell people, don't write yourself off. You're not too old to learn. You're not too old to do anything. You're Bible. How old were the people in the Bible
yeah,
who were used by God?
vast majority.
Vast majority.
Yeah.
Moses, look at all that. Abraham, how old were they? And sometimes we put restrictions and barriers um, on ourselves and write ourselves off. I used to joke around and I said, um, people would ask, would you have more kids? I says, well, if God said, I know I'm not married anymore, so I mean, I said, if God wants me to have a child, why would I tell God no?
Yeah.
It's like, and I would say, Sarah was 80. He's like, and they would laugh and say, you're crazy. No, but I can't put restrictions on God. I want to walk fully in what God has for me. You should too, right?
Yeah.
Who are you to tell God when to do his work? Won't do that.
Yeah.
Can't do that, What legacy do you want to leave at the end of the day? After all this is done, what legacy do you want to leave?
That's a great question. Honest to God, I want to be known as one of the best men that walked on the face of the
Uh,
earth. Honest to God.
uh,
I want to be known as a man of integrity. I want to be known as a man that encouraged others, a man that was close to God's heart, and a man that positively changed and impacted a lot of people's lives.
yes.
A few things that I want to do after, well, by the time I leave this earth is have, different things set in place to where people's lives are getting better all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've gone through a lot of pain, just physical body things,
Mm-hmm.
to where if I just had more money, everything would be okay. But the fact of the matter is, you shouldn't be struggling just because you don't have money to get your teeth fixed. So what if there are more things that were put in place to be able to help people with their body,
Right.
to be able to give
Right.
people water, to be able to give people food, to be able to give people more opportunities? That's something that I want to make sure that once I leave this earth, that
Mm-hmm.
people's lives are better and there are things put in place so they don't have to struggle as much just because they don't have access to resources.
Make an impact, not being selfish with whatever resources. And sometimes we believe that we have to be overly wealthy to make a difference, and we don't have to. We start where we are. But
Yeah.
I'm a man of integrity, I would say, Nicholas. Um, not even thinking so much about yourself, but thinking about the needs of others. And God calls us to be our brother's keeper.
Mm-hmm.
God calls us to share. The episode that I did, not last week, but the week before, talked about how do you measure success.
Mm-hmm.
Um, People call businessmen with money very successful, teachers with a lot of numbers, letters behind their names, successful, doctors. So it's like, how do you measure success when a businessman cannot be saved by his own money?
Mm.
A doctor cannot be saved by his or her own medicine.
Mm.
And a teacher cannot even be saved by her own lessons.
Yeah.
So what do you use to measure success? And to me, what you talk about being successful, digging in, pressing on. The one who's successful is the one who never gives up,
Mm.
the one who falls down but keeps getting up.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the one who recognizes that it's not always about me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always about me. How can I impact someone else's life? Um, I grew up rather poor, you know what I mean? And um, not having a lot of stuff. And I'm a giver. I give out of what I have, and I give out of what I don't have,
Mm-hmm.
because you want to make a difference. You know what it's like because you've been there. You know what I mean? You know when the hurt. It's like if I see someone on on the side of the street, begging. It's like, do you extend yourself, or do you say, "Oh, I picked myself up, so you should be able to
Mm.
pick yourself up too." You know what I mean? But when you've been in a place, you've been hungry, you've been poor, you understand
Mm-hmm.
how that can happen to someone, because life happens to the best of us.
Yes.
Uh, Money. But I get what you're saying, Nicholas,
Yeah.
and I respect, man, that you're looking ahead to the needs of others,
Yeah.
and may God bless you and provide that which He has in store for you in this season, so you can leave a legacy in that season as you walk in His will and as you walk in His way. We're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. I'm going to ask this question. What would you say to someone listening right now who feels stuck behind a wall in their own life?
For the one who feels stuck behind a wall, um, I would say there may be some self-evaluation that needs to go on. So why am I stuck behind this wall? Can I climb the wall? Do I have to break through the wall? Do I need to go around?
Mm.
Do I need to turn around?
Mm.
Do I need to pivot? Right? Why am I in this place or predicament that I'm in? Then also, what is God trying to teach me while I'm in this season? Because one of the worst things in the world One of the worst things in the world is to fail your test during the season, right? Or be in a place to where you're so focused on what went wrong that the time has passed, you're in a better spot, but you missed what you were supposed to get for that season, for the next season, right? Because everything that we go through is for the next, right? So the stuff I had to deal with press on or during that period of time prepared me for where I am now. The nonsense that I'm dealing with right now is preparing me for the future, right? But it's the concept of being able to have that thought process of it's okay.
Yes. Yes.
Solomon said
Yes.
everything is meaningless.
Yes.
Chasing after the wind.
Yes.
So this wall right now
Yes.
is meaningless. It's not going to be here forever, but I can't sit here. I have to keep on moving in some type of direction, right? And if where I need to go is on the other side of that wall, then I need to figure out in what type of way can I get on the other side of the wall. Do I have the right tools,
Yes.
right? Do I need to have somebody else to come help me to come and knock this wall down, right? Maybe I can't do this thing by myself.
Right.
So self-evaluation is very important, but then also where am I supposed to go?
Right.
That is the next thing, right? So you have to self-evaluate, but where am I supposed to go? If I know that I'm supposed to go somewhere and I know that I'm not at my final destination, then there should be a little bit of peace in my heart to know and understand that I'm not going to be in this predicament always, right? Again, weeping may endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning. And so it's having that maturity to know that I'm not going to be in this space forever, but how can I manage my days so I'm not walking around with a cloud over my head? I'm in a pity party all the time. Because sometimes that happens, and we want to be honest. It's like life ain't always going to be perfect.
No.
Just because life isn't going the way that you want to, that doesn't mean that your attitude should reflect on what you're going through, right? Because the joy of the Lord is our strength. So if there's times where we're feeling weak, if there's times where we're feeling vulnerable, if there's times where we're feeling like, I don't know how I'm going to get this done, the joy of the Lord is our strength, right? But then joy is also work. So maybe I need joy to break through this wall. Maybe if I had more joy in my life, this wall would break a little bit sooner. Maybe I'll have better tools if I had more joy. Because nobody wants to be around somebody who's miserable all the time and doesn't have a good attitude. So you could be a terrible place in your life and have great joy, and there will be people that will surround you if you get to the place that you need to go.
You need to go.
Right? Yeah.
Jonah ended up in the belly of the fish because he was disobedient. So you may be thinking, oh, I'm in this because self-assess. What did you do? What did you not do? Right? And another thing too, that same Jonah's story, if you recognize, I always say, who's causing your boat to rock? So there was not a storm. The sailors didn't encounter the storm until Jonah got on board.
Yeah. That's good.
So why are you up against this wall? Could it be because you brought on the wrong person? You're in that wrong relationship, talking to the wrong people? Who's causing your boat to rock?
Yeah.
Self-assess. That is so important. That is so important. Like I mentioned, I'm going to try to wrap up the episode right now in a few minutes. But what we have been doing here on the podcast, whenever we have guests, we ask the guests to ask me one question.
Okay.
So in wrapping up, I'm going to ask you to shoot your question at me. If there's one question you wanted to ask me, what would that question be?
Well, the first thing popped in my head, but I feel like you may have talked about this already. But why did you not quit, and why have you not quit?
Quitters never win, and winners never quit. The poem, and since you asked it, I'm going to go ahead, if I can find this poem. I'm going to read the poem that I mentioned earlier. It's called Running in the Shadow of the Almighty. There's a race set before us, and we have to, that race called life. We're running it every day. Some parts we have those obstacles we have to jump over. Sometimes we're in those sandbags. We feel like we can't get out. So you have to keep running. And the poem says, It's titled Running in the Shadow of the Almighty, and it is in Be Inspired Again. On page 94, it says, I will not quit, for I must win this race called life that I participate in. I'll dry these tears and forge ahead. The battles I'll fight, I'll have no dread. To the hills I'll look from whence cometh my help. I will have no lack. God will provide my bread. For patience I've asked, and some endurance too. And each day I see God's grace bringing me through. And even though I stumble and even sometimes fall, in his arms he holds me. He is my all in all. In the end, all victorious. My Savior I'll see. Oh, what a joy when Jesus greets me. No time to give up. No time to give in. For I must win this race called life that I participate in. I must win this race called life. I must get to that finish line to hear, well done, thou good and faithful servant.
Amen.
Not that I have not fallen, not that I won't mess up. I was joking today, I was talking to myself. I always talk to myself. And I said, oh, yes, you mess up because when you have kids, you have to scream or holler a little bit at your kids.
I bet.
Yes, and I have a teenage daughter, 14 years old, 15 next month. So sometimes, it's like you will feel like you have gotten off track, but God is there with grace.
Mm-hmm.
Not perfect, far from it, but I won't give up. My dad is walking with me, like you said. He's right there. Never left you, always by your side, carrying you when you're too weak, carrying me when I'm too weak, carrying you when you're too weak. No time to give up. No time to give in. For I must win this race called life that I participate in. Nicholas's message is the same. Press on. Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep looking up. Keep believing. In Hebrews it says that Abraham was persuaded. He was convinced, that what God has promised, that what God had promised, he was faithful to perform. He was faithful. You have to believe that.
Yeah.
You have to believe that. Nicholas, I am super excited. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me
Yes, ma'am.
on the Just the Moment podcast.
Thank you.
The Jam Pod, we call it. We embrace our moments. And that's the message today. Nicholas has the same message. I have the same message. Press on, run on, the song says, and see what the end is going to be. Despite life's setbacks, life's challenges, don't give up. Don't quit. Press on. Press on. We didn't mention the title of today's episode, but yes, that's it. Press on.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Huh?
That's cool.
Yeah, press on.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's the title. Press on.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. That's what's up.
That's the message, the encouragement. Press on and see what the end is gonna be. Thank you so much again
No
for
problem.
stopping by the Just the Moment podcast. We
Yes, ma'am.
appreciate it. Looking forward to great things. And I pray God continue to bless you, continue to use you in a mighty way. May you impact lives beyond your wildest dreams, beyond your imagination.
Amen.
May you recognize what God has in store for you. And even if you don't recognize what he has in store for you, keep running that race, man.
Yes, ma'am.
Keep running that race.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't give up. Don't give in. Because we must win this race called life that we participate in.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much again. Okay, Nicholas, I have 10 rapid fire questions I'm going to throw at you.
All right.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Early bird or night owl?
I'm a night owl.
Me too. A song you can't stop listening to right now.
You know what? I've been listening to Grateful by Dante Bowe.
Oh, okay. I know that one, yes. I can't even tell you what I'm listening to. Hilarious. A Bible verse you turn to for encouragement.
Say that again.
A Bible verse you turn to for encouragement.
All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose.
Okay. Mountains or beaches?
Beaches.
Who inspires you most creatively?
At this point in time, it's myself, to be honest.
Okay, that's cool beans. One,
Who do you think he is?
I know. One word that best describes your current season of life.
Challenging.
Challenging. So many of us could say that. Favorite spot in Atlanta to recharge?
I know, right? She's at home, the
Oh,
house. I don't like going nowhere. But now, sometimes Jordan and I, we go to the city park in Sandy Springs.
oh,
It's nice and beautiful over there.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool beans. Um, Book or film that changed your perspective?
High School Musical.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm a High School Musical kid.
oh my gosh. One prayer or hope you'd want listeners to take away from this episode?
Honestly, guys, if we could just love one another and not move out of hate,
Yeah,
please. And
please.
just be good people and
I
think
know.
about other people and don't be selfish.
Hmm. That's a loud sigh, isn't that? Yeah, yeah.
That's a lot. So
Stop hating.
stop hating.
Not worth it. Ah, ah. I think about Cain and Abel, and God said, "Your brother's blood cries out
Mm.
from the earth." Ah,
Hmm.
that's deep.
Jealousy,
Hate,
right?
anger, resentment, pride, thinking that we deserve, we're better than, so we should get this phrase. So, Nicholas, share with the viewers how they can find you, get involved in what you're doing, or they can participate, how they can use your services and so forth.
Great. So again, my name is Nicholas Kayea, Kayea. Right. So you guys can follow me on Instagram at Kayea Creative with a K. I'll spell it Kayea Kreative. And through that Instagram link, you will see my other Instagrams for Respect My Genius, the podcast, and also the Creative Village. But also, I have a website as well at kayeacreative.com. So KAYEAKREATIVE.com. I have a lot of new music coming out very soon. I've been working very hard, and I'm really excited for what it is that I get to share because I've been pressing on.
Mm.
It's been a minute, and so I just turned 30. Right?
Oh,
So I'm in a place to where uh, I'm not a child anymore. I'm not even like a. I know when you're older, you're like, oh, you're just 30. You young. Yeah, like you said before. But I'm in a place now to where it's like I don't even have the two in front of my age. It's a three. Jesus started his ministry when he was 30,
30.
and so I feel like a lot of things were kind of I will say delayed because God wanted to make sure that I was in a mature space
Right.
to handle
Mhm.
what it is that He has in store for me.
Right.
So, like you said, I'm not exactly sure what it is that God wants to do with me, but I have a small glimpse of
Mhm.
what it is that He wants to do. My job is just to make sure that I steward my moments
Right.
correctly and adequately. And so, if you guys want to tap into my story and stay on the journey, follow me again on Instagram and YouTube, Kaya Creative, everything. Yeah,
Everything.
that's it.
Yes. Make sure you check out Nicholas's social media. Follow him. Tap in with him. Tap into him. Link him up. Right. As you would say in Jamaica, do make a link up or do a link up, right? And just get connected into the community. This is positive vibes, positive information. We're talking about God. We're sharing. We want to uplift. We want to motivate. We want to inspire, right? So tap into the community. So thank you so much again. for just stopping by the Just a Moment podcast. Much appreciated.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Oh, indeed, indeed. Thank you for accepting, man. I tell you, all God, all God. Because as we talked, I noticed how so many things we had in common, right? Again, God putting like folks together. Appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate that. Hey, Jampod family, I have some quick updates for you and some announcements. Now, this marks the final episode of our summer season, and we will be taking a little break to get renewed and refreshed. But we will be back with season 3 on October 14th, so keep an eye out for that. And even though we're taking a little break, we will still be gathering for just a moment in prayer, which is going to be on Saturday, September 27th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I want to remind you to book that slot on your calendar. This will be a special time, once again, for us to gather as a community to come together for encouragement and to pray. Now, the prayer link will be in the description below, and you can also follow us on Facebook, the Just a Moment podcast. More details will be there, and you'll also find the Zoom link there as well. So check us out on Facebook, the Just a Moment podcast. I have been working on the 31-day prayer journal. Guess what? It is now available and ready. That's the ebook. It is ready. So we're so excited to announce that. Now, this prayer journal is designed to guide us day by day in prayer, reflection, and spiritual growth. Now that the prayer journal is available, we're preparing what? A prayer challenge starting on October 1st, and this will run through October 31st. 31 days. This is a powerful opportunity to deepen our faith together. And now more details will be forthcoming, so I want you to stay tuned. So please stay tuned to the Just a Moment podcast so you can get updates and on all that is taking place and all that is happening here in this space. I want you to be the first one to know, because we will have live streams, new merch, and special collaborations, and I don't want you to miss out on any of that. So follow us on YouTube, rss.com, and our social platforms to stay connected during this time when we are off to taking a break. Again, it's Just a Moment podcast. If you're on Instagram, Facebook, wherever, all the social sites, you can find us there. I share this every week. Moments that are gone don't come back. Missed moments cannot be recaptured. They cannot be retrieved. So take a hold of your moments. The moments that life sends your way. Guess what? I'm taking a hold of mine. And as you move through this week, wherever this journey may take you, whatever moment you may encounter, please remember to press on. Run on and see what the end is gonna be. Because you must win this race called life that we participate in. And while you're pressing on, I would encourage you to go back and watch some of the episodes of the last 2 seasons that you may have missed. May they encourage you. May they remind you that you are a winner, that your moments matter, that you matter. Remember, put God first in all that you do. Be good to yourself and be true to who you are. Be true to whom God called you and created you to be and to whom you are becoming. I am your host, Shawn N. Graham, and I'll see you next time on the Just a Moment podcast, the Jam Pod.
Just a moment. Welcome to the Jam Podcast. Just a moment. Welcome to the Jam Podcast. Just a moment. Welcome to the Jam Podcast. This is the Just a Moment podcast, where we pause to reflect on life through the lens of poetry.